Have you ever made a trifold wreath for Christmas? That is what we're doing today, using 2 rolls of 10-inch Deco mesh. It's going to be a gorgeous wreath. This is the sign that we're going to be using. So our colors are going to be pinks and light greens. It's going to be so beautiful. Hello my sweet friends, and welcome to DIY with Nadia. I'm sure you noticed that I'm keeping one eye closed here and I don't have a fur baby. That's because I have a corneal abrasion and I cannot handle light with this eye. It's a mess right now. But I still wanted to show up for you, and therefore here I am. Without further ado, let's get started on our beautiful Christmas trifold wreath. Let's go over the supplies for this wreath. My little co-host right here is Simba this time. Usually it's Rocky up here, but it's Simba this time. I'm going to start with 2 rolls of Deco mesh. Do make sure that these rolls are 10 yards in length and of course 10 inches in width. For ribbon, I'm going to use this 1.5 inch wired ribbon. You can use a set of 2.5 and 1.5 as a combo. I'm going to be using just this one for this wreath. You will need pipe cleaners, floral wire, a lovely sign for the center. I thought this one was so sweet and pretty. It says Merry Christmas right there. It does have the little holes already in the sign, so I can just attach. And for the wreath base, I'm going to be using a 14-inch metal wreath form. For decor, I'm going to be using these glitter vase fillers. The nice thing about these is they are lightweight and made out of foam. When it comes to attaching our pipe cleaners, I'm going to be using the 18 pipe cleaner method. This particular wreath is divided into 6 sections. Therefore, I'm going to do 3 pipe cleaners in each section. If you are using a 14-inch wreath base, but it has 7 sections instead of 6, then don't focus on the sections, focus on the pipe cleaners themselves, which means you're going to have 6 on the inner rows and you're going to have 12 on the outer rows. Starting with one section right here, I'm going to put a pipe cleaner on rows 1 and 2 right in the center. The next 2 pipe cleaners are going in the same section, but on rows 3 and 4, and just twist in the center. At this point, I'm going to repeat the same process, 3 per section going all the way around, for a total of 18 pipe cleaners, 6 on the inside and 12 on the outside. And this is what your wreath should look like when you have all of your pipe cleaners attached. Next, we're going to cut our ribbon. I usually cut the Deco mesh next, but I'm going to have to get rid of the cat when I do that because I'm going to be using a heating tool. Now we're just going to do the ribbon next so you can stay for a few more minutes. I'm going to be cutting my little ribbon into 11-inch strips, and instead of 18, I'm going to do 24 because in that middle section, the 6 pipe cleaners on the inside, I'm going to put 2 per bundle. Therefore, I'm going to need a total of 24 ribbon pieces at 11 inches in length each. When you are done cutting your ribbon, go on both sides, fold our ribbon in half and cut out a little triangle, making sure that we cut the edges that fold over, and that way we have 2 little dovetails done right away, and that's how I'm going to end up cutting all my ribbon. I find this method to be very quick and easy. I am going to be using a wood burning tool. I usually just use the needle nose one. I'm also going to be using a glass cutting board. I always have these linked in the description box below, and of course my Amazon shop. I wanted to mention that these are super simple to use. You just have an on and off switch and it heats up super quick within a minute or 2. I'm going to be cutting each roll of my Deco mesh into 20-inch strips. 10 yards of our Deco mesh is the same thing as 360 inches. I usually take that total 360 and divide it by 18 pipe cleaners that I have on my wreath base. That gives us 20. That is why we're cutting these into 20-inch strips, and we're going to need 18 per Deco mesh roll. In each pipe cleaner, we're going to have a pink and a green little trifold. But first things first, I like to even out my Deco mesh, and that way I know I'm going to seal it in. I always go right in between 2 rows that are going from top to bottom. That way you have a nice seal, and as you can see, I mean, this should be really flimsy, but it holds on really nicely because we sealed that in right there. As you can see, no pets are allowed in my craft room altogether during this process. And I also have a window open in front of my table. I always put my tables in my craft rooms right in front of the window for this reason. That way I know I'm going to be safe. We are cutting basically plastic. If you have Deco mesh that doesn't have foiling like this one, you can just use a rotary cutter. But because of all that pretty foiling on this Deco mesh and on the green one also, I'm going to be using the heated tool. This part is actually kind of fun for me. I've gotten accustomed to using the heating tool, and now I'm going to do the green Deco mesh. Same thing, I'm going to even the edge out first and then start cutting the rest of my Deco mesh. As you can see, it doesn't matter how curvy the 2 rows are, I'm still going to stick to going in between 2 rows that are going from top to bottom. Just curl it up and throw it in a laundry basket. All right, my friends, I have 18 of each. 24. Don't be afraid for those who don't like making bows. This is not to make a bow. We're actually going to put everything together in our little bow maker and then attach it. Here's what I mean. Let's set everything up first. Since I'm using 2 covers and we do have even numbers on the inside and on the outside, we're just going to switch them up as we're going along, so every other is going to look the same. On the inside row, we're using 2 of the ribbon pieces. On the outside, only 1 per bundle. When it comes to making our trifold, I like to lay it out, get your center, and what I like to do is we're going to fold about 6 to 7 inches. Here is where my 6 inches are. Let's fold like this. The reason I'm doing this is I want to make sure that this side that I'm going to fold over is definitely shorter so that it does not stick out on the side, but it comes in just a little bit. This is what I mean. So here's the edge and here is the end that finishes up. When you put your trifold together, what we're going to do is flip it so that the edge part is at the bottom. Put it sideways and collect it in the center. We have a sweet little bow, and that is what I'm going to put on here. You can definitely use a clamp for that, but this is so much easier. Then I'm going to grab my pink one and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a 6 to 7 inch fold, just lining everything up. Then we're going to take this side, fold it over. Now I'm going to flip and collect in the center. How easy is that, my friends? Super easy. I'm going to put this one in, and I kind of like to crisscross it so it doesn't really lay on top of each other because we do want to fill in that space. Grab 2 of these ribbon bundles because I'm going to start with the inner row. Let's just fold them in half. Find that center and put them on there. Now I'm going to remove the whole bundle and attach it to our wreath base. A few tight twists, just twist up. Since I'm not going to use the pipe cleaner, I'm going to cut about 1 inch from the little connection, then just fold and fold back. There we go, our first one is done. For our next one, I'm going to start with the pink, fold over 6 to 7 inches. Fold the other side. Now I'm going to flip it over so the edge is at the bottom and collect in the center. I mean, super easy, super fun. Let's get a green one, center it, overlay it, fold this one over. Let's flip, collect. I like to do a little crisscross, 2 pieces of ribbon, find our center. There we go. Take the whole thing off. As a last step, we're attaching it to the wreath base. And of course, I'm twisting up, cutting off the excess, folding and folding back. At this point, the process is pretty repetitive, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach the rest of the Deco mesh to our pipe cleaners. All the Deco mesh is attached. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ribbon that's in the center and I'm going to pull it out because we need to put our sign in the center, and I want to make sure that none of that gorgeous ribbon gets stuck behind the sign. This is plenty of cushion for an 8-inch sign. Oh, look how pretty that's going to be. Taking my floral wire, I'm going to get 2 pieces at about 12 inches each. Attach them to the sign. I'm going to do a few good twists in the back so the floral wire is attached nicely, just like that. Attach. Let's center that. Securing the floral wire in place on both sides. Now that the sign is in place, I'm going to flip and attach our hanging loop. Use a jute cord. I'm going to attach it between rows 2 and 3. Few knots. Make sure it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to pull the loop through the front so we can hang it. If you would like to cover the back, this is the perfect time to do it. I'm going to use a placemat. This one is almost 15 inches in diameter. Let's get that tag off. And what I like to do is attach it in 3 places. Grab our zip ties and just lay them out like this and start attaching. I don't usually like to do it too tight. I'm going to cut off the excess and make sure this nub goes to the back. If you have a business card to attach or maybe something that says handmade, you can either staple it or sew it to the actual placemat. It's that simple, my friends. The best part about this is if there's any issues, you can just flip it up and take care of it. Other than that, we are ready to start working on our ribbon. All I'm going to do on the ribbon that's on the outside row is I'm going to flip both of them to face up. And then the one that's facing down, let's face it up and have it sticking out. The ones that are on the inner row, we're actually going to open those up. We're going to open them like a little flower. So just make sure those petals are showing. They're beautiful. The ribbon is on, everything is done, and you can definitely stop at this point. But I'm a little bit under the weather and I felt like bringing in the vase fillers. I grabbed only the white iridescent ones and I'm going to hot glue them throughout. Take the little ones, the big ones, whatever my little heart desires, and I'm going to scatter them throughout the wreath. There are ornaments on the sign. They're little round ones. I thought this would be a great little boost, and that would be it for this beautiful trifold Christmas wreath. I hope you enjoyed this wreath tutorials. For more tutorials like this, of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up. And of course, visit the playlists. In the playlists, I have tutorials for pretty much every season possible. So check those out, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much, my friends. Mwah!